me just tell you that we have in studio, Ricky is here and he's joined by Yvonne Pearson. She has been a familiar face and voice on the landscape for very, very many years, championing the cause of Indigenous peoples, and we're going to talk to them really quickly about FLEGT, so Forestry, Law Enforcement, Governance and Trade. I got that right? Okay. So those are the things we are going to talk about this morning with them. I think 2 weeks ago we met some of the folks from FLEGT and we talked about how forestry, law enforcement, how this is going to affect you, you listeners, what you need to know, what the government is doing, what the EU is doing, how they're going to work together with government to ensure, and the Forestry Commission, to ensure that we take better care of our forests. Now, when we talk about those things, lots of other things we have to talk about. So, for example, some of the people most affected by what's happening with our forestry, whether we use it badly or not, are our Indigenous peoples. So Yvonne is going to talk to me a little bit about that, and Ricky is going to talk to me about trade. Right, so let's start with you, Yvonne. It's been a long time since we heard from you. Still championing the cause of women and Indigenous peoples?
Yes, thank you.
You're still doing that?
Yes,
all right, let me just get your microphone up. Yeah. So you're still doing that?
Yes, I'm still around and I'm representing the Indigenous Peoples Commission. So this morning I just want to talk a little about the EU FLEGT. This is the European Union Forest Law Enforcement, Governance and Trade, and what it brings for the Indigenous peoples. First of all, I would like to say we were always part of this discussion way back in 2012, and we continue to be part of it. With the signing of the EU FLEGT, it's a voluntary partnership agreement, and what we're looking forward for is that it would strengthen what we were doing all the time, that sustainable use of our forests and resources. That's what I like to say for that.
All right, for sustainable use of the forestry and resources. Have you had, I mean, prior to this happening, you said you started discussions. Were there instances where perhaps the forests was being degraded and it was affecting the Indigenous peoples and the communities?
Well, yes, to some extent in the area of mining. That is the main drivers of forest degradation.
Yeah.
However, with all the things that will be put in place, we do look forward for that to be addressed.
All right. So the Forestry Commission has been leading this particular fight and trying to ensure that the industry, the sector, is strengthened and it's more efficient and so on. Ricky, tell me about trade tariffs and so on that you're talking about.
Thanks, Juanita, and morning to all our listeners. I want to say, as president of the Forest Products Association, our task to engage this process was very much appreciated by all our members, and so because when we're talking about the trade, there are basically two benefits. One is for local benefit and one is for the trade benefit itself directly. Let us talk about the international trade benefit, because in that, to be specific, is that we're talking about opening markets. It's open new markets. It's right now we needed that. Our country, you know, we know that
you need a little bit of trade.
Yeah,
I know there was a shutdown. Some places were not allowed. They weren't allowed to log and so on.
Right.
Is that ban still on, or has it been lifted?
No, it's not really of a ban per se, you know. But then what we are trying to do is to get our forest certified and regulated in a way, because that was bigger the UK market, because now you see our Karama, they have the certified, so that timber can now goes to
so
the
some
UK
countries
market.
are saying if you don't do it properly and if you hurt the environment and so on, we're not going to buy your logs.
Well, that is how the international market is opening now. So with this EU FLEGT now, this is what's going to bridge that gap.
Okay.
And so we're going to expand our market and our entire European market.
That is cool.
And the other point is there's also, which is an increased demand for certified timber, and this is where we're going. This is where Guyana is heading, and that's our benefit. Locally, it's going to help us to bridge gaps between the government and the private sector. That is what you're going to do, because it have to put a level playing field. It help us to certify all the differences. It help our agencies like GRA, NIS to come on stream with this. This is how the program was designed. So it's help people, our agencies to align themselves so that we can all be a part of the process of the EU FLEGT.
You know, I'm wondering if my listeners, because I'm definitely thinking whether or not, this sounds as though prior to this FLEGT coming on, this was like a cowboy kind of operation. Is that no?
No, actually, to be frank with you, Juanita, is that the process doesn't add any pressure to what we have already. They are using existing systems, and they're just aligning them and just bring out as a
With international standards.
That's right.
All right.
But it's but using local standards and laws.
All right. That must take a lot of work, getting together local standards and laws. I know Christopher Chaponia will tell me about laws a bit later on in my conversation with him. But how is FLEGT, are you beginning to see, well, this is what I want to ask you actually. Are the bloggers, the persons in the sector, are they supporting this?
Yes, and that is why we are here at the FPA that we support, because we represent a wide range of the forestry industry and the loggers, and we are engaged because there's nothing different as to what we want implemented here. There's no difference of what you're
Except
doing.
you're getting bigger markets now. You're being
exactly that, and that is the key.
Markets.
That is what we want people to understand, that you're going to open and expand that market in Europe here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, for indigenous peoples, we have had widespread consultation. Something new to us would be like GRA tax and NIS, and
how is that going to deal? How is that affecting your people?
We have never done it before, so it would be new, and this is where
you never pay taxes.
Well, personally, I pay taxes, but I'm talking about loggers,
right?
Indigenous loggers.
Right.
They never pay taxes before, so this would be new. NIS also, it would be new. But the good thing about this whole EU FLEGT is that we would now have partnership with NIS officers would have to come in, bring us up to date, GRA, proper protective gears. Those are some things that we were not adhering to, and with the FLEGT now, these are new things for us. However, in our consultation, many of our loggers out there see it as necessary now. It's something that we can benefit from, because in the long term, we would benefit from NIS payments. And so they're actually looking forward to see, because the big thing about the EU FLEGT is that it is giving us the opportunity to be on a level play field. Why can't we be the exporters? Why can't we export to the EU too? Because over the years we've been selling to middlemen. So we are looking forward now to be the exporters to EU countries.
And of course this means you're going to have more money, your villages will have more money directly
we are looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Because many of the things like sustainable use of the forest, we were talking about that for many years. With the EU now, there would be things put in place to ensure
that it happens.
That all the forest products are legal, that we're doing sustainable work. So that's nothing really new to us. New things are the NIS and the taxes.
It's actually empowered the indigenous communities.
Yes, right.
I have to say though, it makes me a little bit sad that, I'm beginning to think that a lot of these things, they're already on the books, they're there. We just have a problem with adhering to these things. And I'm particularly disturbed that, your villages didn't, the issue of NIS, I know you have hard workers there.
Yes.
The issue of NIS has never come up. That the issue of taxes, paying your taxes, didn't come up. So you do get this all the time. We've been hearing this from miners themselves, saying they don't pay taxes, or they're cut out because they're the middleman, and the bigger people at the top, they cream off. All right, so we're not going to talk about creaming off the profits, but I'm happy that your villages and the indigenous peoples are going to be able to do their logging, do it in a sustainable manner, and of course get certified, which opens up the market. I'm particularly glad that this is happening. I've been hearing a lot of bad news recently, so it's good to know that something is happening, so that login you can actually get a bigger export market, which is what really you always want, right?
Yes.
Right, correct.
All right. So I'm going to give you 1 minute each to give me your final thoughts on this whole thing.
I want what we're looking for is to have a quick on the process, because the other agencies are going to be involved. We want everybody to get a grip of what's happening, because it's over almost 5 years we're going through the process now, and we wanted to bring it to a close, because we got to do a fifth negotiation.
Wow. And
then we have to do the nationalization and so on.
So you want everybody to get on board.
So everybody got to get on board.
Who are those persons who have to get on board, apart from your agency?
GRA is already on board. We have the NIS is going to be on board. We have to get, remember our system it works. We got to get cabinets. We have to get parliaments. Everybody has to be on board and part with this.
Because this requires legislation as well.
Yes.
All right. So I'm sure our leaders are listening. I know a few of them are listening, and I'm sure once this legislation has to go before Parliament, they're going to do all they can to get it moving quickly.
Okay. Yes, I just want to say, we were always part of the discussion and consultation. We raised a few concerns, some being addressed, taken on board in the legal definition, and we are hoping that we will continue to be always part of the discussion, because we are looking forward for the day when we would also be the exporter. We can have access, or we can hold the EU FLEGT certificate, because the EU are looking for certified timber and timber products, and we want to be part of that market. That's what we want to be as the indigenous peoples.
Thank you, and this obviously means empowering your own peoples as well.
Yes.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, Ricky.
Thank you, Anita.
I'm happy that you visited today.